It has been a long time since I've made an update video on Sector Wars. Alright, where's the front line? Are we still holding that building? Oh my god, okay, we're not holding the building. Hold the first block, guys. Start shooting out the windows. I see him. Oh my god. On the second part of the reload. Oh, we are dead. There's a lot of progress-related stuff I could talk about, but I think my community posts and shorts mostly cover that. What I really want to do is update everyone on what's planned for the game specifically. Before I get into the rest of this video, I do want to say that we're going to reopen the game on Saturday for another playtest. It's only been a week since the last playtest, so don't expect that much to have changed, but the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to be busy the week after. So the earliest date for another playtest after this one is August 15th. If you were here for this live stream, you'd know that we actually managed to hit 50 concurrent players, which is insane. I want to see if we can top that this time, so I'm gonna engagement bait here a little bit for the first time ever. I want to add a bunch of badges to this game, and I need ideas for badges, so please like the video, and please comment badge ideas. We've already done alpha testing, we're gonna do beta testing, we're gonna do meet the developers. Give us more badge ideas, comment below. I feel like I should address this because a lot of people have been asking for it. Mobile support is pretty likely, but we can't guarantee it just yet. I did make this GUI layout though, so if you're a mobile user, it would be good to have your input on this sort of thing. Feel free to join the Discord server and tell me how I can improve this, because I don't play mobile games. By the way, if you haven't played Sector Wars before, here are some tips. Firstly, read the menu to see all the controls on PC. I don't know the controls on console, so I didn't put them there, but they will be there eventually, and the game is playable on console. Just like in the original Sector Wars, if you crouch or stand still, you get a different set of recoil values, which are lower. Even on bolt-action rifles, this can make a big difference. At the moment, the reload only counts if you complete the animation in its entirety. We're going to work something out eventually when we start doing quality of life changes, but just make sure that you complete the animation and you see the round count go up before you sprint or shoot. Whenever you begin sprinting or finish sprinting, the transition animation plays. This is sort of a simulation of the weight of a gun. A heavier weapon is going to have a longer transition animation, which means you have to wait longer before you're able to shoot after sprinting. Just make sure you're aware of this so that way you don't run into a situation where you can't defend yourself. Speaking of defending yourself, when you're inside this spawn box, shoot through it at enemies if they're trying to spawn camp. They can't shoot back. Lastly, this is a bug that hasn't yet been fixed, and sometimes you might encounter it. We call it the disease. You can't die, and you can't reset either, so you have to rejoin. There's no cure for the disease. Yeah, dude, alright, yeah. Come on, dude, let's go. Okay, I know I did this in the last update video, but I'm going to make it even more concise this time so I can get to the good stuff. Sector Wars is a team-based randomizer shooter with a time progression mechanic and asymmetrical weapons. Something something, building and destruction. All the words, just all the words in there. If you are confused as to why there are so many guns, it's because they're meant to only appear for specific time periods and meant to only be used by specific teams. At the moment, none of this has been implemented, but once we get a game mode and map voting system, that's when we'll make the change. A lot of people who play the game ask me about other things like classes, melees, and grenades. All of these are planned, and here's how they're going to be implemented. So this one is the most straightforward, basically the same thing as the guns. There will be specific throwables depending on what year it is and what team you're on, and they'll be randomly handed out when you spawn. Some throwables we have planned include dynamite, impact grenades, smoke grenades, a white phosphorus grenade, and a satchel charge. So this is something that's going to be more impactful than you might expect. I want every melee weapon to have a function besides dealing damage. This isn't a realistic game, it's just me picking and choosing what elements I like and what I think would be fun. That being said, melee weapons are going to be based on old Roblox gear. The current planned melees are the linked sword, which will give you a boosted jump when you lunge, just like the original, as well as the stone hammer, which won't give you a boosted jump, but will allow you to use the destruction system without needing an explosive. In the future, I might abandon the idea of only using Roblox gear, but regardless, I'm going to make sure every melee weapon is unique enough to justify its addition to the game. Unlike most aspects of the game, you will actually be able to purchase and equip these instead of having them randomly assigned to you, for the most part. I still want to keep some aspect of randomness, so you're going to have to pick two, and there's a 50-50 chance you'll spawn with either one. Secondary weapons are another aspect of the game you'll be able to customize. At the moment there are 4 pistols in the game. These are the default pistols. Any other pistol that's added in the future will require you to unlock it or buy it. Just like the melee weapons, you can equip them, but you're not always guaranteed to get the one you want. In the case of the pistols, there are 4 slots which correspond with 4 different stretches of time, and they overlap slightly. Once we get the game to a stage where all I have to do is put out updates, you can expect plenty of secondaries and melee weapons to be added regularly. Finally, classes. My design philosophy for the class system is to have every ability be impactful while also benefiting the team. You don't get to choose your classes, and they're completely independent from what primary weapon you were assigned. I've divided the classes into 3 categories: Assault, Medic, and Support. In theory, you should have an equal chance to spawn as any of these, but we'll have to see how well that works out in practice. Now again, I did say that these classes are based on old Roblox gear. Although they might not necessarily do what the gear originally did, they do something similar. The easiest one to explain is the Medic. You either get a healing potion, which fully restores HP, or you get a food or beverage based gear, which gives a healing effect that fully restores HP over time. These items can be used on yourself or teammates, but if you use them on teammates, the cooldown is cut in half. Weapon damage is high in this game, and players are going to be able to respawn quickly, so any medical system that's more complex than this or nerfed in some way would serve no real purpose. Up next is the Support class. They get a trowel which allows them to build. The building system hasn't been started yet, but it's going to be pretty simple. I want to have a low wall, a high wall, truss, and barbed wire. All of these items are going to be destructible, just like the map. Again, we haven't started working on this, so I can't really explain much more. I might expand on this, like potentially having an offensive or defensive variant of the trowel, but yeah. Finally, we have Assault. This one is the most interesting in my opinion. The 2 planned assault utilities are the Slate Skin Potion and Instruments. If you played the original Sector Wars, you probably remember the Bloxy Cola tool. I switched it to the Slate Skin Potion because that makes more sense. Activating the Slate Skin Potion gives you complete immunity to the suppression effect from enemy weapons. It also boosts your HP to 150 temporarily. However, just like the Bloxy Cola in the original Sector Wars, if you dip below 50 HP and you don't get healed by the time the effect ends, you die. So you can only temporarily take more damage than your max HP. Just like the items from the Medic class, if you were to use this on a teammate, the cooldown would be cut in half. Finally, Instruments. These are going to create an area effect similar to the Soldier's Banners from TF2, so any teammates within your range are going to temporarily be given suppression immunity and a base walk speed increase, perfect for some kind of massed attack. Currently, this game is in the alpha stage, but once we meet this set of requirements I'm about to list out, I'll consider it to be in the beta stage and leave it open at all times. Number 1, the implementation of different tool types. Number 2, map resetting, map voting, and game modes. This includes voting for years as well. Number 3, team and time-specific loadouts. Number 4, the shop and monetization. Gotta pay my devs. I've already described pretty much all the ideas I had for monetization, but will likely add some form of character customization later on as well. Of course, it has to work with the design of the game. There's a bunch of quality of life features that I've documented, but I didn't list them since they're kinda boring. Once we complete those, we can start working on the sector campaign mode that I originally wanted the game to have. But I do want to clarify something. Although I don't think the game is going to fail once we get to the beta stage, if it does, there's a good chance we're not going to continue. I can't expect people to work for nothing, and the game is going to be almost completely done once we get to the beta stage, both in terms of gameplay and monetization. So basically, if the beta doesn't do numbers, the release isn't going to either. Again, I don't think this is going to happen. Plus, we're going to give it some time so I can try putting out content updates and all that. If this game blows up, one of the first things I want to do is hire more developers. I have so many ideas that I don't think we can do, to the point where I think sharing them is just silly, but some of the more tame ones are improved visual effects, ambient and environmental sounds, new factions, so an entire team's worth of different weapons and uniforms, and lastly, heavy weapons and vehicles. I've already talked about my plan for vehicles, but basically, the vehicles wouldn't be free to drive wherever they wanted to, but players could decide which path they would take while also controlling the guns inside the vehicle. For heavier vehicles, there would be a machine gun available for the driver and a main cannon or something available for the gunner.